Welcome to No More Secrets on Sunday, the podcast where silence ends and healing begins. I'm your host, Nacretia J. Veal, here to guide women on a journey of reclaiming their voice, rebuilding sacred spaces within, and thriving beyond trauma. I'm here with my co-host, Cherise Seiler, and each month we'll shatter the silence that holds us back and share stories that empower and explore tools to heal, grow, and live boldly. It's time to break free. Together, let's get started. Welcome to No More Secrets on Sunday, where silence ends and healing begins. I am your co-host, Cherise Kyler, and I'm here with the wonderful host, Nacretia Veal. How you doing, baby?
Hey, what's going on?
It's going.
Ready.
Today's topic is very sensitive. Many of our topics are sensitive, right? But that's healing, right? It's not a clean slate. Like, there's nothing cute about it. There's no bow on it or anything like that. But, people call it church hurt. And let me tell you why I don't like that word. A phrase, I should say. Because it's gotten to the point where it's watered down. Like, they just minimize your feelings with it. Like, that's church hurt. Let it go. Like, they just dismiss your feelings.
Yeah, I think we need to call it what it is, trauma. We need to really, because a lot of people, they say, well, you mix up what trauma is and what, church hurt is.
Yeah.
The reason why you're calling it church hurt is to minimize what it actually is. It is traumatic experience since repeatedly happening to you every single week.
Every week. And see, people think like, oh, church, they think Sunday. But what they're forgetting is, for most of us growing up, it was Sunday through Sunday. You didn't see your friend. My friends had to join the choir just to see me. Literally the only reason why they joined the choir, because that was the only playtime we got, was right after rehearsal. They're like, we get to see Cherise.
Yeah.
It feels like this is normal. That's cool. Thanks, you guys. But you get older, like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And that should not have been okay.
Yeah. It's like overtime for the church.
If something's really supposed to be for your spiritual growth, and I'm going to say spiritual growth, why is trauma involved? If it's supposed to be...
That is a really good question. I would like you to repeat that. Let's say that again.
If it's supposed to be for your spiritual growth, why is trauma involved?
Yeah.
Why does it have a space there? It's stitched. And it's literally stitched into your everyday worship without you even realize.
And that's what we're talking about today, the lingering effect of trauma and actually how to heal from that.
Yeah. It literally becomes a part of you. And you're not aware. You're not really aware until you have removed yourself, and then the outside world seems weird. And you don't realize you're in it until you have removed yourself, and you run into some things and realize you've had covers over your eyes and you've been manipulated the entire time.
Right. And that's what we're trying to bring to light. Not every religious organization or every ministry is bad or a cult, but when it is there and when you are experiencing it, or you have people who are experiencing it, they need outlets. They need to have the ability to say, hey, this is something I'm dealing with and I'm going through. And that's why we have these conversations, because nobody wants to talk about it. And nobody wants to admit that that's the experience they had, especially if they're still connected or involved in it. It's interesting because I've had people who have bought No More Secrets on Sunday and have said that it was just, eye-opening and amazing, and it really, hit home. Yet that same ministry that I speak of in here is the same ministry that they're posting to their social media posts every single day to this day.
Which is funny. That's funny. Because what part do you feel was great and healing and worthy? You're in the same bubble, causing the same mess. You're contributing to the same factor.
Exactly.
From back then.
Exactly.
You just have new suckers.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed. New village idiots, I like to say.
Yeah. And you have family that don't support you.
Yeah.
That don't believe what you've been through. They minimize it. And that's the conversation we need to have because that's why it's lingering.
Yeah.
Because you have no support on the outside, so it's constantly
There's
there
nobody
in
to
front
run
of
to.
you. Exactly.
They carry it with them for the rest of their lives. You know, from the age of 5 or whatever, and before you know it, they're 40, and it's worse, and they're just going through it in different levels in different ways. It spills over to work, it spills over to relationships, it spills over to every single thing, and it's not something that really ends for them until they recognize it, and then they do the work. And that's the sad part is where do you go? Who do you trust? It's been plenty of us, right? We went to somebody and they was like, oh, you just mad at the church, or this church hurt, let that go. It's as simple as, hey, that's all you gotta do. Okay, if it was that simple, why would I be talking to you? Why would I try to seek some form of shelter or help?
Right.
If it's that simple.
Right.
That's really stupid.
Exactly.
That's telling me to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound.
Right.
And saying, okay, you should be better now.
Exactly.
People have really went through a lot of trauma at a young age in these institutions. And even if I found this to be insane, even if the entire family left the cult, right? You still can't even vent to your parents about it because they just say, you gotta let that go. We let it go.
So unfair.
Yeah, it's very unfair. And the thing is, when you listen to a lot of the parents or leaders say, we let that go, like if they all left and they look at you and say, why are you still on that? We let it go. We don't even deal with that anymore. You need to let that go. That's a lie. The translation to that is, we buried it.
Forgive, right? Forgive.
Just forgive and move on.
Yeah, forgiveness has been used as a manipulation tactic.
Absolutely.
Because now I can keep doing what I've been doing to you. Because the scripture says to forgive. You can forgive, meaning you're not holding those things within you, but that doesn't mean that you are allowing that person the same space in your life. Right?
Yeah.
And they confuse forgiveness with allowing that person to continue that same trauma.
And that's literally how they see it. So their form of forgiveness is, oh, y'all got to let that go and move on. You want to display.
Yeah, no.
You want to hold display. Come to the front. Tell people what you know, and what I think of people that do that, I'm not allowed to say on this podcast. However,
don't start.
Just know there's a lot of things over my head right now, like hashtags and exclamation points and anchor faces that says expletive words. Because I don't, you know, as a true Capricorn, everybody know what they can do for me. And I can tell you exactly where to put that forgiveness.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
So as we talk about the lingering trauma.
Listen, it lingers all right.
And healing.
It will heal you.
We want to focus on healing methods.
Did you see how the Pisces just kind of like, it's gonna be okay.
Healing opportunities.
You see birds? Do you see her halo and her birds?
But yeah, I think that we do need to have an opportunity to say what we need to say to individuals.
Absolutely.
And also to have the space to heal from those traumas.
So with us talking about forgiveness and everything it entails and not being used as manipulation, I've noticed that on a lot of mainstream media, a lot of people are speaking on, pastors, members, you name it. They're all speaking on being free from all of that. And it is happening more and more. Every time I turn around, there's a video, there's someone just finally coming out about all the manipulation they've been through. Whether, even the ones that talked about some of the sermons that they were forced to preach, they're like, scriptures not even being what they are. It was just a lot. And I was just very happy to see people become free from that. However, I also stumbled across this show. I literally started watching this show and then I noticed it was some stuff on her on TikTok as well. And I don't know if
Okay.
you ever seen it or whatever, but it's a young lady that speaks about growing up in a cult. Like she was born in it. She didn't get an option. I don't know
No,
if you've seen it.
I haven't.
Okay, no, you have to listen to this. So she speaks about it, and then like later on in another episode, she's trying to talk to her mom about her feelings, and just like we previously spoke about, you can't go to a family member sometimes. You can go to, you go to a family member and they're just like, get over it. Why you still on that? Knowing darn well they haven't done the work themselves. It's just like such a cop out to say, oh, just get over it, knowing they struggle every day. But see, they translate their struggle in a different way. They might eat more, or they might cry about something out of nowhere. You never really know. And
Yeah,
so for you to tell your child to get over it knowing you haven't dealt with it either, and you're fronting, is more damage to your child.
yeah,
But just like we just spoke about, it's also a video of her mother, just what we talked about, get over it. Why you still on that? Yeah, that type of very rude response.
yeah.
So you have to hear this. I want you to hear this.
I've been fat like since the beginning. I was always a chunky girl. I grew up in a Christian cult in Long Beach. The pastor was very manipulative. He controlled what we ate, what time we ate. He controlled who we talked to, whether or not we could have gatherings in our home. He controlled pretty much everything. Anytime we had a church service or Bible study or choir rehearsal or anything like that, we weren't allowed to eat. That meant most of the time I wasn't eating until after church, which is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. And then I was so hungry, I would just binge on junk food. We left when I was 22 years old. And so it's like, I'm trying to do the best I can with all the trauma that I endured.
That's crazy.
Insane. Now you can see the hurt in her eyeballs, right? Like you can feel that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, choir rehearsal, you can't even eat up that. You do it too much, sir. You do it way too much, sir. But on top of that, listen to her mother. Now, this is years later. Listen to her mom's response when she just tries to have a safe space to go to, which you would hope would be your parent, right?
Right,
Listen
exactly.
to,
Because
listen,
that's her mom.
that's
So
your mom. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, listen to her mom's response.
Church service or...
So you think it's gonna be a church service?
Yeah, because usually I feel like Sunday dinner always lead into some kind of worship.
And what's wrong with that? Are you mad at the church? Are you mad at God? Who are you mad
I'm
at?
not mad at God because God didn't do anything. I'm mad at the church. I'm mad at religion. I'm mad at the people inside the church. Every time we have the conversation about church, it doesn't always go well. I wish my mom took ownership and understood where I was coming from. What she does is she makes it a me problem and say that, like, the whole cult situation, she's like, oh, well, that's how you feel. You get what I'm saying? But she was the one who decided to, like, join the church before I was even born. And she chose to raise me there. So that's definitely a major strain in our relationship.
All that church hurt stuff, you gotta get past it, babe. You
It
gotta
don't
just
matter.
keep it going, keep it moving.
It don't matter how old I am. Like, that doesn't make it easy. Like, I get anxiety.
I know you have church hurt and you hear about things and it takes you even deeper, but you have to rely on the Lord to pull you out.
You keep saying that.
Because
You can't. That's not a fix.
It is.
End all be all.
That's what happened with me.
All right.
Why is the church such a trigger for you?
I was born there.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
When you're born somewhere and you don't know anything else, and when you leave and you find out what the world is really like, it's really just up. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't have a childhood. I didn't have a lot of things that I felt like I should have had. I didn't have the love that I deserved. I didn't have the support. I didn't have a lot of things. I was kind of forced to be this robot.
Watching and I'm taking deep breaths. oh, while watching, because
Yeah.
you can't feel your child's hurt enough to just do the cliche, give it to God.
Yeah.
Oh, give it, let it go. That's worse.
Yeah. She said, you're an adult now. Like,
Yes.
so
What?
what?
So
Adults have
what?
trauma. Adults have trauma.
I, we a lot of our traumas from when we're smaller. Eventually, we become adults, and it doesn't mean it goes away. It gets
Yeah.
worse. That is the reality right now. So many adults are trying to become free. First of all, they're trying to free the little them, the little boy and the little girl version of themselves
Mm-hmm.
that was trapped in this manipulation and foolishness from these cults and these belief systems. And
Mm-hmm.
then once they heal the little them, now they got to work on teenage them, now adult them. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And people just say get over it or just give it to God. That's not the answer. And it's not the answer because that's a very dismissive response. That's not solving anything. You're not getting to the root of it. You're not handling nothing. Telling somebody, oh, let's just pray it away. That's not going to work. Be way more healed people in this world right now.
It really would be. They fall back on that without understanding that there is some practical ways for you to deal with life's trauma, life's experiences. When you've been raised in those environments and you've been in those
Right.
environments,
Yeah.
like she said, all her life, that's
All her
all
life.
that that's your go-to, and you're stuck because you know nothing else. And I don't have that same story, but just I've told this story since we've been starting this journey together. Is the light came on for me when I realized there was just some pieces missing out of where what my belief was, because no matter how much I prayed, no matter how much I ministered, no matter how much I did all of those things, because there were gaps in my belief, because I didn't know anything else, all I knew was what I was raised around, and then the ministry that I was a part of.
Yep.
My heart goes out to her.
You said something when you were saying um, different stories, being born into something. But you know what? In a way, yeah, for me, I came out the womb in a choir. I came out the room singing the solos. I came out the room doing all the things. Like it was just embedded.
Hmm.
One particular church growing up, I was automatically a part of like six different ministries. I didn't get to choose. This is
Hmm.
what it was.
Yeah.
My mom was a musician. My grandmother was a musician. My great grandmother was the musician of one particular church. This was not an option. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, you realize, like I said, I didn't have the best childhood and love everyone, even though they've completely hurt me. But um, my mom not being the most maternal figure, I did a lot of things just because it brought peace. I didn't have to, it was the only way to get close to her. So I had to kind of do what she liked to just make myself believe that we were close, even though, that wasn't the actual reality.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with a lot of my siblings. The siblings I loved the most, they were so caught up with being in every ministry. So I had to do the same thing because it was the only way to spend time with, you know what I mean? It's the only way to
Yeah.
really kick it because no one took an interest in the things I loved. No one cared about the things that made me happy. Actually, the things that made me happy, because I've always been a dancer, they've always made fun of it, or they would say I was the devil, or they would, say all this bad stuff about me. But I'm supposed to always be a part of everything that they love. And everything they love just happens to be church, 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 church. And if I wasn't them, then I'm wrong. And growing up loving music, I love music, all kind of music. I love music, and you weren't allowed to do anything, and play anything or be a
Mhm.
human. Even the ones that's not born in it, you might have had a family member that found God years later, and they're just like, "This is what we do now."
Again, it's traumatic when you're in situations where people are taking advantage of you.
people are manipulating you. People are doing things that is causing constant trauma in your life, like what was happening to her.
It's good that she actually, not only is she finding an outlet, she found a public outlet, baby. She is on a major network and she gets to share her story.
Yes.
And that's beautiful because you're not thinking about, you don't give a crap at that point about nobody's feelings. And I welcome that. At what point do you value yourself more than somebody else judging you in some kind of way?
Hmm.
So I'm very proud of her.
When you're going through those traumatic experiences, how do you get to that place of healing? Because that's why we're here. It's a lingering effect. It is where it starts to show up in other areas of your life
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're you're reacting to a situation that's present, but your reaction is from a situation that was years ago, and you have not realized that you're reactive, right? You have a trauma,
Yeah.
what they call a trauma brain, and you're reacting to life in a traumatic state. How do we get people to a place of healing? What steps can we take? And I guess my question for you is, what are a couple of things that you believe that we can take? I mean, we talk about what you know in No
Mhm.
More Secrets on Sunday, we talk about the
Yeah.
state method, and then recognizing those different trauma states that you might have and don't even realize it. But what
Mhm.
do you think are a couple of things that people can do to just take those steps forward to heal?
I think for me, what I believe works is recognition. So if you can really start honing into some of your responses that are actually trauma responses, to you to you it might have been a regular thing. But when you start doing the work, you start realizing that, wait a minute, this has been a trauma response this whole time. Let me get a handle on this. Let
Hmm.
me figure out how to hone in on this so I can get better. Once you can recognize it, then you can move to the next steps. Then you'll actually know how to respond to your partner, significant other, or whoever, um, colleague, whatever it is, in a different way.
Yeah,
Because to other people, they're like, why is she snapping at me? I just asked, did she want a blue crayon or did she want a yellow crayon?
not the
She just,
crayons.
she flipped the table over. And, and you don't even realize, like, crayons pissed her off back in the day.
Not the crayon.
It's the crayons, girl. But, it's like, and it was just like embedded in their soul, and you don't know. But if you can recognize responses, that is a big step because then you'll know, like, okay, wait, let me pause and find a better way.
I thought about how the trauma responses that I had in my life from the experiences that I had, I didn't even realize it. I just thought I was being wronged, and that was their fault. You know what I mean? So until I got to the place where I started using those examples, and those tools to heal, I was constantly, I had an issue with, I guess what I would say, attachment, right? So you gonna call me, you gonna text me at a certain time. Where you at? Where you going? Like we
Yeah,
gonna be to the hip, because I had an issue with rejection because I was constantly being used and thrown away, used and
yes,
thrown away, used and thrown away. And so now I'm responding to life like, oh, they're gonna throw me away if they don't call me back. And it took me to say, okay, let me step back and use these tools to see who I really am and why I am doing these things. And once I release them, it's like you can call me whenever you feel like, feel like it. I don't care. Call me 3 days later. It don't matter to me. I'll be all right.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good over here. Trust me, I'm good over here.
Right. No, I'm not. I'm no longer responding, and it takes time to get
It
there.
does. It takes
I,
time.
I recently, was talking to a friend, and it tried to creep back up, and it was like, hey, wait, they never, and I was like, wait,
Why I care? You know
Why
what
do
I
I
mean?
care?
I shouldn't care, right? So it's
Why
like,
do I care? I had to learn what really bugged me. It's something as simple, and I mean simple, sis. I mean simple as like the I'm gonna be very honest with you. As simple as the thumbs up emoji, which is a regular thumbs up emoji, but it was always used. So I had to think because from one particular person that turned very verbally abusive,
mm-hmm,
they were used that, and you knew it was in a like sarcastic way to where you also knew that at some point in the day they were gonna start screaming at you
mm-hmm,
about whatever
yeah,
so it was almost like if it was done in person, it would be like, okay, sure, whatever you know what I'm saying, whatever you
yeah,
say, or oh, sure, that's what you're doing. Oh, yeah, whatever.
mm-hmm,
That's how it was. That's how, literally how it was given. So then years later, I have one person who just like they're busy. Everyone knows I'm a busy bumblebee, but I have one person who's just as busy. And that was like their quick way of being like, okay, cool, I got it. Like I got the thing you said. And my brain would be like, oh God, oh God. Oh, and I would go into
yeah,
panic mode. I would literally start like sweating and like literally panic mode.
exactly.
And I took I had a big girl moment. And normally it would just eat me up like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. It, like, what does he mean by that? Like, like, what does that mean?
Right,
And I did the big girl thing and I expressed what I've
right,
been through with that emoji, what it actually meant in a very abusive relationship. Um, they were like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. I won't use it. And I said, no, no, use it. I said, because I have to learn that it could be used for other things than negative.
and those are the steps that we have to take in
That's what
order
you
to
gotta
heal.
do.
Right.
That's what you gotta do.
Expose ourselves to those environments little by little, and just reprogram what we think about them and reshape the way we respond. And it's a lifelong journey because you had a lifelong experience of trauma. If you've been in situations in the church or job 15, 20, 30 years, you're not going to just get rid of all that in 5 days. Like
It doesn't
it
go
just
away.
doesn't
It
work
doesn't
that
just
way.
go away because you wished it away.
It's a good start, and you can really start off very powerful, but there will be triggers, and that is where you have to have resources in order to deal with those things, and that's where we
You
talk
gotta, and
about.
it doesn't mean that it disappears in any way. It's just
Yeah,
steps for when it does appear. And when
yeah,
it does appear, you just need to know where to lean to. Like I said, if you are a person who meditates, if you whatever your go to is, you need to do those things, but with the knowledge of the reality of a response or what your triggers are. Go
hmm,
in and put all those intentions into your meditation. That, with all the steps that help you get through the day to day, that's what's going to help you. Which is
yeah,
why we're here. This is why we take the time out of our days, our busy lives, to try to help you heal, because that's what's important.
exactly.
And
And
that's
if you
why
need
that's why
resources
we're
like
here.
that, and if you need if they need resources, they can go to the website nomoresecretsonsunday.com, and we have resources to help you through that. We talk about the trauma states, the state method, all of these things is to help you move through those experiences in your life to not have to deal with that lingering trauma anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. And if you find yourself looking for even more support, we have a wonderful group on social media called, what's the group says?
SOS. I was looking for the Q. Yeah, SOS community. Really excited about that, because it is growing right now,
So,
and
yes.
it's still small, which is good. The smaller, a lot of times you can get your questions answered easier, and you just feel supported and connected, and that's what we want. We want to people to come in and feel free. We have anonymous posting, so you can say whatever, and we will have no idea who you are, but we will be able to help you. And that's, that's a lot of times that's what you need, because sometimes people are not ready to own it, to own the situations and the circumstances that they have in their life. It took me a while to own my situations and my experiences in the church. But I'm owning it now with my name on it, right? With their name out there on it. So, it's okay. I'm here to do it for you. So if you are not ready, you can get into the group and, be able to, share anonymously and everything. So
Yeah.
we do
Yeah,
have
and that's what we're here for. That's so don't forget to join the social media groups. Don't forget to pick up No More Secrets on Sunday in all forms. We have audio, we have a physical book you can get on Amazon. So you have all of these things.
yeah.
And I think that you will really enjoy it. I think you're going to really enjoy all of it, and it's really going to be healing. And even if you have the Kindle, right? Kindle version, people can
Yep. Kindle,
read it on their
Amazon Kindle.
tablets.
Yep.
So take the time. If you need to reach out to us, let us know how you're doing. Let us know what steps you're taking. We are very curious to know. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Even if you comment, feel free to comment on our TikTok post anywhere. Just let us know, like, I've taken these steps. This is what I'm doing. Because we're excited to see what level, you're on. And even if you think you just need to talk to us, let us know. You can do that. That's perfectly fine. And we
Absolutely.
can't wait to speak to you. We really cannot. But we appreciate you for taking the time out with us as we try to heal together.
Yes.
So thank you so much for watching. And, you don't have to heal alone. Have a good one.
We're glad you were able to join us. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share and connect with our growing community. Remember, your voice matters, and your healing is sacred, and your story has the power to inspire. Until the next time, keep shattering silence and reclaim your truth.